Hi, Jen.
Hello,
Oh, we're back again.
we're back again. So I had this experience last week I was telling you about, which was a very spiritual experience because it was to do with coming out of my sleep. And I had obviously connected with my mother who passed, how long ago? 6 months ago or so. And it also introduced me to, I had a strong feeling of my light body,
Wow.
along with a sense of love, which I have experienced before, but I haven't really had this light body. And this candle here just reminded me of it. It's like little sparkly nodules, like you see on these diagrams and pictures. I really felt it.
So could you describe how you felt it?
Uh, so I So it was about last week or so, and as I woke up out of my sleep, I felt myself saying, "Oh, I miss you, Mum." I wasn't aware of missing my mother, really. I feel okay because she was very elderly when she passed, and everything was fine. And we'd had time, we'd had lots of time together to complete everything, and towards the end, she wasn't able to offer much because she was very elderly. It was more
Yeah.
me giving, really. But I did, I, I think I did, and I do miss her as she used to be, like, perhaps 30 years ago or so, when we could relate
Yeah.
and had a good relationship, a good, fun relationship. We had a good relationship
Yeah.
most of the time. But so, and this woke up on in my mouth or my memory. I miss your mum. And as I said it, I felt this whoosh from her of, um, I don't know, it's been like, "Oh, you do love me," sort of thing. And it was like spiritual arms around me. And that set off in my body. I went into this light being, like these golden little nodules all around me. And I felt, I can't remember, because it's easy to forget.
Do you
I
think
wrote
you saw them, or did you feel them, or both, or just knew?
interesting.
Which senses was it? Was
I
it just
think
a
I
knowing?
felt it. So I
Wow.
felt it first, and then my mind perceived it. Oh, it's like little golden nodules that are all joined
Yeah.
together. And it was only afterwards, maybe days afterwards, I put the word light body onto it. But I felt this intense spiritual connection, like I was glistening golden in love and out of my body. It was like an out of body experience. And then I came to more and I thought, wow, I've got to write that up. I mustn't forget. No, I said I mustn't forget this. And I did write it up. If I can find it, because I put things on my phone, else you do forget, even
Yeah.
using stuff like that. And I shared this with you last week, and that's why it's on my mind still. But if I hadn't have spoke about it, I might have completely forgot about it. Oh, here it is. I put "Don't ever forget." It was on the 1st of June. A beautiful experience this morning. I woke up just after saying to my mother, "Oh, I miss you." And then I received the most intense, uplifting, loving feeling. And my whole body felt a light like this. And I got those little emoji, like every energy node in my light body lit up.
Wow.
And then I made this other little note because this is important to me. And I put, "No drugs could ever give you that experience," because I know that that it's different, because I have tried things in the past to experience things with my mind a little bit, and I know a lot of young people do today.
Yeah.
No drug could ever give you that experience, because this was real and physical and mind-blowing. It put real ecstasy, and I've never had that before. So I've never had that before in all my years, so it was
Yeah. Yeah.
different. I've had lots of mystical spiritual experiences and I know about light bodies, but it's been more theoretical, like, in the book, and healing and imagining and thinking,
Yeah.
giving Reiki. But this was
Yeah.
a real,
Yeah.
and I think I was able to get into it because I think I had probably, while I was asleep, I went to this world and connected with my mother. And that's sort of a bit sort of left over as it
Yeah.
comes through
Yeah.
to my consciousness. So it was great. Mm.
Wow. Because it's like they do say, don't they, that we kind of in our sleep, whether we're aware of it or not, we go to a different realm.
Realm, I like that word.
Yeah, and for healing or learning or whatever it may be. But these are things that we often hear, don't we? But unless we've experienced it, how do we know?
Interesting, isn't it? Because I knew it before I had that experience.
Yeah.
Um, but it was very different to actually physically experience it. And when I say physical, it wasn't really physical because it wasn't in the body. It was real in a feeling. It's like it was like it's like a word we don't have. So it wasn't emotions, feelings, or body awareness. It was something else. And so it must be this light body that people talk about.
And also, like you said, experiencing it kind of here, in your human body,
This round,
rather than, because
yes,
we can kind of go wherever we want in our minds, can't we? But
yes.
to actually
Oh,
feel it in your
yes, that's
body
right.
is different.
Yeah, that's right. So it came from that realm into this realm.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps this happens more often than we think, but we disregard it because, I mean, I nearly did, um, because it's just like, oh, it's so far out there. Sometimes we can't take it all in.
Well, we don't understand it. We don't know. We can't put a reference to it, can we? We just don't simply don't know. If we've never experienced that before, how do you put words to that?
Yeah, that's right. It just reminded me of when my previous dog died. That was a very spiritual experience. And that's coming back to me now. I saw his light body spread out. He lay down in the garden, and I saw his energy light up the whole of the garden.
Wow.
It was so magnificent. I kept it to
Yeah,
myself for a long time
yeah,
because I didn't know how to put it into words, and it took
yeah.
a few months before I could remember it again and then put it into words. But it's firmly there now. I've got a very strong memory of it, and it was amazing.
That does sound beautiful and reassuring as well.
Very reassuring because so that would be, I don't know, about 20 years ago or so. And although I knew about different realms, and yeah, again, it was like a proof.
Yeah.
And so my dog was dying, and he was ill. I didn't know he was actually going to die, but that morning he didn't have his breakfast, which is really unusual. He wanted to
Yeah.
I had opened the back door, and he stumbled as he went over and then just lay down under this bush.
Oh,
And then he put his head out like that. And I knew I hadn't got time to call anyone, because it's like thinking vets, family, I was going to run up and tell my son. I thought, I haven't got time to get up
yeah.
and tell him. And so I just stroked his head, and I stroked him 3 times. And each time he pulled out this big gasp. And on the third stroke, there's a huge big gasp. And then he let go. And this is hard to explain, but the whole of the garden lit up. It lit up. And it's like, we don't know this, but in the air between our vision, when I'm looking over at the wall, there's lots of stuff, but we disregard
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But in this, it was like it was all clear. It was like it was all whooshed away, and it was all bright and light and spread out into the garden like there was clarity, complete clarity. There's no dust or anything. And then there was a sudden whoosh, like a whoosh. I can't remember if it was a sound or a whoosh like that. It went up into the sky and then it was gone. So,
Oh,
and it was just like, wow. And so that took ages for it to filter through my brain for me to accept it.
yeah. Yeah, because like I said, sometimes you just can't explain it. There's just not the words, is there, to explain it, how it really felt
There's
or
not
what
the
you witnessed.
words. And then you think
To do
people,
it justice, I
yeah.
suppose.
And then if people haven't, can't
Yeah,
accept that, you're going to get a look of like, oh, you've gone potty, or you're
yeah,
imagining, or you're really sad because you're missing your dog, or you made
yeah,
it up, or it's just it is unbelievable to me. So it's
yeah.
understandable that people might be
But
disbelieving.
it's like it reminds me a bit. This is something that I learned,
Mhm.
or one of the things that I learned was um, when I went to as I was mentioning to you before, I went to a spiritual development um, program
Mhm.
some time ago. And when I came out, after it was like so many weeks, and when I came out one evening, I wasn't intentionally looking for orbs.
Mm.
Probably some, I probably didn't even really know what they were, but I saw them. I
Mm.
saw like two or three, and it was undeniable to me what
Interesting.
they were. And yet, I hadn't gone looking for them. We hadn't been talking
Oh,
about
you
them.
hadn't been talking about them. Oh,
No. And it'd come up in conversation, like, what people have experienced, in
so
general
on the
conversation.
periphery,
Yeah,
it was
yeah. But there
there.
was no kind of talking about
Yeah,
what orbs
wasn't talking
are.
about it. Yeah.
But I saw them for myself.
Tell me about them.
Well, I was sitting in my car
Mhm.
just about to, go home, and it's dark outside, and I just see three, one after the other, whiz past me, and they're like a purpley blue. Just
Mm.
I can't, like you said, I can't quite describe it to you, but it was something I'd never ever seen before. And I knew what they were. And yet I couldn't really tell you a lot about them, but I just knew within me, I've just seen orbs.
Yes, how wonderful. Did it go in front of the windscreen or
Yeah,
alongside? Yeah.
yeah,
So it was up like level with the
yeah,
windscreen.
yeah.
And
It was undeniable.
what speed was it?
Fast, very
Yeah.
fast.
So just one after the other, like
Yeah,
following.
and then that was it. And then that was it.
And they were the same sort of size? What diameter were they?
Yeah, no, same sort of size.
Like a small ball or
Yeah.
little? Mm.
I mean, it was hard to tell because it was fast.
Yes.
It definitely was.
Oh,
All
that was
three
super
of them were
exciting.
fast. But what it taught me was there are things that
Mm,
there are lots of things that we just can't see,
mm,
but they're there.
mm.
That's what I learned. I learned, crikey, if I've just seen and witnessed this, what else
Oh, yes, that's
am I unable to see at the minute? What else is out there? Like you describing about with your dog and light bodies, it's all there. We just aren't tuned in. to it. Oh, we see what we see, and we think that is it. That's truth. That's all that there is. What's in front of you, the floor we stand on, our homes, but it's not, is it? There's so much more. And some people see it and other people don't.
And when you're tuned in, so it's a bit like, you know, you've just had a new red car and you see red cars everywhere. So
Yeah,
the same thing in spiritual things. You were tuned into that realm with your talk, and
yeah,
then you're on that level and you were open to see.
yeah,
I think I went to on a bird watching holiday once. We saw over 100 birds. And
yeah,
you know, it was because we were tuned into it, and we'd go out on these walks, and then when I come home, I was seeing them everywhere.
yeah.
It's wonderful.
Weird, isn't it? And
Mm.
yet that's so simple. And you know, in this development course, we, like I said earlier, we weren't focusing on orbs, we weren't talking about orbs, nothing like that. Wasn't even on what they were going, they didn't even touch upon orbs in any depth at all. But because I was starting through meditation and learning about things, that my mind was starting to open up to possibilities. It was that
Mm.
opening within me
Yeah,
that allowed me to see the
you're
all.
right. You're right, because if you'd been to a different kind of talk, you'd just be putting your key in the ignition, thinking about where you're
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
You wouldn't even notice things flying by the window
I,
because they're not meant to be there. Yeah.
yeah. And it also may have been, for all I know, kind of a little bit of proof
Yes.
for, well, almost like, here you go, Wendy. Look,
Yes.
see what you are doing, you know. Yeah,
I
there is
think
more to this. There
actually
is
orbs is really,
other.
really intriguing because nobody really knows what they are. But I have noticed that they come about in joy. You know, they're
Oh,
often seen in photographs, in happy photographs,
yeah,
and they're often seen with children, with animals, and when there's laughter and joy.
really.
Oh,
Have you seen orbs?
yes, I've seen a lot of orbs, and I've got a lot of photographs of orbs. And I saw some, probably the first time was I was at a spiritual center, and I went off a walk by myself up this little lane, and it was dark. I was feeling very brave. There was like just trees and a dark sky, and sort of gingerly went to the end. It was only the drive up to this like big house, went to the end, and but it felt really safe and beautiful. And yeah, we'd been, you know, I was in that element, and I just stood there a while just to breathe in the air, and I saw them dancing amongst the trees.
Yeah. It's just incredible.
I got my camera out and photographed them. I think I put a video on it. I've got it somewhere. And I showed it to my mother, and I think she was patronizing me, saying, "Oh, yes." I said, "Can you see them?" "Oh, yes." It's like she either just couldn't accept it, or she think, you know, I don't know. You show a lot of people and they say, "Oh, yeah, well, it's just dust on the camera."
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? What we see is so different, you know, from one person to the next. It's like somebody that can see auras. Some
Yeah,
people can and some people
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
And
And
it's not that it's just that they've just opened up to see auras, isn't it?
and maybe they expect to, or they want to, and maybe other people don't want to be there. It's a
And
bit
they trust
scary.
themselves as
Yeah,
well, that because I think sometimes people, well, maybe people can do it this way, I don't know. I can see auras, but I don't see them physically. I see them in my mind's eye,
interesting.
but I trust that.
That's nice. I don't think I can, I don't really see auras, but I do get feelings.
Yeah. So that's how you read an aura.
I can read
It's just
energy.
different. Yeah, it's just a different sense, isn't it? Mine's a kind of seeing, and seeing means not in your physical eye, but in your third
Third
eye.
eye, yeah.
You're feeling, somebody's aura.
I tell you what I can feel. It probably won't work now. If I say it, it's going to break it. But anyway, what I can usually feel is if I'm driving and I come up to some lights and everyone's stopped,
Yeah.
more than just, I just can spin round and I know which ones are going to go next. And I was trying to work out, how do I know that? They're going to go, no, they're going to go, and then it's my turn. And I think I can sense the energy of the drivers getting more and more frustrated. Like, when is it our turn to cross?
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm picking
And
up.
that's it though, isn't it? It's the, your knowing kind of sense. I think that's the one that's the hardest to explain, because when you just know.
Yeah, there's a
It's
knowing.
that
Just
straightforward, isn't
know
it? But
it.
you have to trust it.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that one. You just know. You don't know how you know, but you just know.
I suppose people might say it's your intuition, or they feel it in their gut.
Yeah.
And if they actually feel it in their gut, but it's an expression, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
inside, they know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they say your gut's also a brain, isn't it? Your
Yeah.
brain, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's something we could talk about in a future talk about psychic senses or senses, because we've all got them, haven't we? And I think sometimes there is people misunderstand what the senses are. Like I said, the uh, clair, is it clairaudient?
Sentient.
The hearing.
Yes. Clairaudient.
So the clairaudient medium, people think that they hear directly through their ears, and some people do.
Yeah.
Some people actually hear, and it's almost like it comes from the outside and comes in through the ears. But the vast majority of clairaudient mediums, they just hear it inside their head,
Yeah.
like a voice. And we all hear that from time to time, don't we? A
So
voice.
it could be a voice inside, or it could be a knowledge that's just input.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Just,
we've all got these abilities.
yeah, if we're open to it, why not? Because we're all, well, we believe we're spiritual beings in human bodies.
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't believe that, it's not so easy to access other
Yeah.
areas, and you can only work with your five senses.
Yeah. But equally, I think most people have had,
They would be able to if they wanted to, yeah.
yeah, and they've had an experience, haven't they, of trusting their gut and
Yeah.
it being right.
Yeah.
I think most people somewhere can say they've had those experiences where
They
they
just
knew
know.
they were
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the senses, isn't it? Your intuition,
Yeah.
you knowing.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would be like a whole chapter. I was thinking about doing some more on orbs, because I would like to learn more about orbs. Um, yeah,
There's so much, isn't there? That's why we have these
yeah.
conversations, because
So,
it's so
that,
much to talk about.
just to explain to people who haven't heard the word orb. So it's a round, glistening ball, not always round actually, but usually spherical, like ball shaped, and they move around, usually fast and usually direct in one line. And so it's like an energy ball, and often you can get a few together in slightly different sizes. They can go like from, actually there was a time when I was getting like a beach ball, a big golden beach ball
Beautiful.
on the beach. And I've got photographs of it.
Wow.
And it also came on holiday with me. But also, as well as the balls, there's like tunnels, and it's like lots of balls together, and they make like a funnel.
Right.
And I've seen those moving around on the floor after a meditation. And I don't know, they might be portals. They're like portals. Now, some people might freak out and think, oh, you've invited the devil. It's it's very beautiful. You know, it's a loving, nice,
Yeah.
beautiful energy, and they only come. I know there are dark energies. These aren't dark energies. These only come in light moods, and
That's good to hear. Like I said, it would have
purity.
been when I saw them, you know, we definitely would have been a good mood, but it may have also been a little bit of validation. I think it was the first time I'd saw something
Yeah.
thought, oh my word,
And
crikey, I've actually seen
it
something.
was like a message. You're on the right path, Wendy.
That's what I think that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
You know, you've done well, Wendy, following your gut
Yeah.
and showing up to do this. You're in the right place. Well done. Here's your validation.
I think things only come as we're open to them, but also because if you know, say if you're not used to these things and you're going to your kitchen to put the kettle on and then there's orbs flying around, you just freak out or think there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So
Of
it's
course,
always
yeah.
appropriate as you're open to it, and I think it comes by invitation on a not actual conscious level, but another level.
And that's why I think, you know, it's really helpful for people if they don't go, you know, to a spiritual class, or they listen to podcasts, or they listen to this conversation, just read books. There's so many ways to expand your knowledge and your awareness, isn't there? But the more that you do that, the more you're going to increase the chance of you experiencing things
And
about yourself and the world.
I think if you're a newbie as well, it's probably important to always do this with a layer of protection. So that
And to
you're,
ground yourself as
yeah,
well.
yeah, so that you're coming from the right space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we could do something on that next
Yeah.
with grounding and protection.
Yeah. Good idea.
Mm. Okay, well, that was an exciting chat. Thanks, Wendy.
Lovely. I'll see you again soon then, Jen.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm.
You want to stop record?
Yes, we'll have to close that.
I was just
thought-
quick writing it down.
What you're writing down?
Just the 3 topics. Orbs.
Lightbody,
Yeah.
Lightbodies and Orbs, we could call it.
And like your senses and beginners tips. So I'm just going to put down protection
Yeah.
and grounding just to jog on memories. Yeah, I'll just add these to the list, Jen. So, I mean, obviously, when we do the meditation, whatever comes out, doesn't it? It's
Right.
supposed to.
Well, I was just thinking of I don't know, maybe this is fear-based. I'm just imagining someone saying, oh, I did that and I ended up in the mental hospital, you know, because they weren't in that right place to start with. So
Yeah.
we could also do a thing saying this to only to just attract the people to practice this when they're in the right place to do so. So it's going to
And,
benefit from them.
and the thing is whenever we do that conversation, that can be like one of the earlier videos that gets uploaded, can't it? If you're new to this, watch this
Yeah.
first.
Yes.
Sort
Even,
of
yes.
thing.
Even if we put it out later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So that would be a good one to do, actually. Well, we'll
Yeah.
just let spirit guide us.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it did today.
Yes.
And that was really nice.
Yes. Lovely.
All right, then.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I'll see you
yeah.
on Monday.
See you
Enjoy
on
your time with
Monday
your
at
family.
12 o'clock. Thank you. You have a lovely
Thank you
day.
for accommodating. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.